Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Masterpiece Movie Theater, where we'll be covering the 1992 HBO Productions film Mom and Dad Save the World. If you've never seen it, this is the cover of the DVD. This movie is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, folks. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is one of those goofy movies you see in the 90s. And that is quite literally it. It's full goof all the way through. The entire premise of the movie is that there's this planet out on the rim of the galaxy that is populated completely by idiots and is been taken over by its new emperor, Todd Spango, who is played by John Lovitz. And he renames the planet after himself. Now it's Planet Spango. And it's so his entire now that he rules the planet, he wants to destroy Earth. And even though this is a planet of idiots, somehow they have a death ray that can blow up the entire planet. And as he's looking through the target, he spots a woman in Southern California who is Terry Garr, okay, and she plays obviously the mom in the entire movie, who is Marge Nelson, and Marge is married to Dick Nelson, who's played by Jeffrey Jones. So he becomes completely infatuated with her, and then before blowing up, wanting to blow up the planet, he uses their magna beam to pull the vehicle that Dick and Marge are in to his planet again. Completely ridiculous. So they get to the planet, and he takes Marge in. Dick is thrown into the cell. Todd wants to marry Marge. She's obviously says no. And so Todd wants to know how he can woo her, how he can get her to fall in love with him. So he has his minions take Dick and put they're quote unquote torturing him. Let's not put it like that. They're trying to read his mind and see what it is, that makes Marge love Dick. And in that process, the man who is controlling it, Cyborg, who's played by Wallace Shaw, who is just always just the perfect actor for whatever he's put in. He feels compelled to let Dick go because his love is true, and he misses the love of his life, Samaj. So he lets Dick go to fool everyone, because again it's a planet of idiots. He puts on one of the Spango officer outfits, even though it's like, I don't know, 8 sizes too small for him. The visual of it is rather hilarious. If you know Jeffrey Jones, you're seeing him. The Jeffrey Jones, the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Okay, in a military-ish uniform, way too small for him. So he tries to escape. He ends up going through the sewers, and he sees this sewer life creature that is. It looks like mushrooms, but they can like hop, and then they have the head opens up. It's giant teeth. They're called Lublubs. It's great. He finds his way out. He gets to a escape pod, and he lands in the desert. Oh, I'm sorry. Before that, he does run into the former king, who's played by Eric Idle, King Raph, and that's why he tells him he has to get to the desert. So he gets to the desert and meets the rebels, who is Raph's kids, who is Dwyer Brown plays Cirque, and then Kathy Ireland plays Samaj. So, yes, Kathy Ireland and Wallace Shaw are each other's love interests in the movie. Again, it's ridiculous, but it's so good. Anyways, so they get to, he gets to the desert. He organizes everybody, and he immediately rises to the rank of like warlord or something like that. And they go back to, on a siege to retake the planet. Now, the only person who seems like he's smart on the entire planet is Spango's right hand, who is plotting against Todd, and therefore he's found out, and then Spango wants to kill him, but they use a Trojan horse to get in before the wedding. But it's not a horse; it's a bust of Todd Spango. So they're all hiding inside of it, and it was Dick's plan. They wheel it in to the wedding. Todd's mad because it doesn't look like him, and then they all come busting out of it. The right hand General Affair, who's played by I'm sorry, and I wrote this down so I didn't mess it up. It's Thalmus Rasulala. Plays the role great, and if you look in other stuff, if you IMDb other stuff, you'll know him if you've never seen him. He's loaded into the laser, so the death ray will kill him and then hit Earth, which Todd was going to do after the wedding. So everyone bursts out. They stop Todd Spango. The rightful king takes his place. All of the people, or everyone is back where they should be. Samaj and Cyborg are together. King Raph is King Raph again. The last time you see Todd Spango, he actually ends up in the sewers, and the Love-Loves are coming up to him, and then that's it. That's the last thing you see for him. And then they go back to Southern California. They're showing the kids all the pictures from their adventure, which they say they don't tell them they went to another planet and saved that planet and Earth. They just say where they were supposed to be going for the weekend. So again, what makes this movie great is its ridiculousness, and yet somehow it's still completely awesome. One of the things I like about movies that came out around this time, even lower budgeted movies, is still the sets and the things that they use. Even if somehow you end up finding out it's a recycled set that's been redone, it's they used decent sets. They went to out into the wild, out into the desert for good shots, but it's still done with love and care, and not it doesn't feel empty like a lot of movies sometimes feel nowadays. It's just like, oh, okay, here was a good idea, we're gonna throw it out, and no, like, here's a ridiculous idea, right? Completely ridiculous in all of its forms, and yet somehow the movie works and it's good. There's heart and caring, not only in the story but how it was made. The people who made it wanted it to be ridiculous and funny, and it is. It's fantastic. Greg Beeman, the director, he just did a great job. The writers just they nailed making a ridiculous story, but somehow it was so good. So if you've never seen it, get your hands on it. YouTube it if you have to. Whatever you gotta do. check out Mom and Dad Save the World. All right. So, like, subscribe, and share everything on Niche Nerd Network. Okay, it's very important. You're gonna want to see when all the videos come up, especially if you're watching Masterpiece Movie Theater. And join us next week when we'll be reviewing one of my top 20 favorite films of all time. We're speaking of ridiculous movies. A lot of people think this movie's ridiculous. I've seen it on tons of, movies so bad they're good. It's not so bad it's good. It's just good. It's just good, period. Join me as I go over Howard the Duck.